Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were discussing Justin Fields, and now we're going to be talking about Kenny Pickett, and he will be backing up Jalen Hurts. But before we do that, I just want to remind you guys to like and follow the show. We get a number of questions from viewers that come in during the show, so to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. That link is GSMCPodcast.net. This puts your question at the top of the list so that I can see it, and it also just really helps the show. I remembered to do it this time.
Very nice. You're always on point. It's just this you slipped on a banana peel yesterday.
I did. It was Monday, you know.
It was
I have
Monday.
a little bit of an excuse.
By the way, Faith, Monday, technical issues. Power goes out.
Yeah. At least it wasn't during our show.
That just hit me. It's like it's another day on a Monday where there's a major technical difficulty.
Yeah.
As I was talking about in a meeting after a show, pretty major meeting, and all the power goes out. And which then totally blew up my entire day, which then makes today a stressful day. So this is my this show is kind of like my woosah moment where I kind of mellow out a little bit. So I'm not so intense the rest of the day.
Yeah, yesterday I could definitely tell it was a Monday because yesterday I had to go do some filming and I left my tripod at home, and so I had to use a gigantic stack of books to set up my camera.
And what kind of tripod are you using? You're using it for like a video project, right? So is it a big one?
It can get pretty big, yeah. But I needed it because I was doing an interview with somebody, and thank goodness it was set in his office, and he had a bookshelf full of books. And I was like, "Listen, dude, I forgot my tripod. Can I borrow these?"
Listen, wait a minute. Listen, dude.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
That is.
I was like, "Hey, I'm so sorry."
Conversation ever.
I was like, "I'm so sorry. I realized that I left my tripod at home. I see that you've got some books. Can I use these books to stack up on the table so I can set my camera up? I just want to make sure that you look good. You always throw in, I want to make sure you look good." And they're like, "Yeah, do what
I want to put you in the best light. So can we use some of these books to stack?" And what was the project for now?
It's
or do you not want to share?
It's hard news. I'll just leave it at that. It's a hard news story.
And we're like soft.
We're light.
Here.
We're light and happy here. So,
guys, Faith does like the hard. That sounds kind of funny to say it that way. Faith.
I'm a well-versed journalist. I do it all.
Yes, and so we're kind of the more lighter-hearted side of this instead of more of the edgier news stories that Faith tends to like.
This is the sugar. This is the sugar that I take to help the medicine go down.
Nice. I will take that as a positive right there. We don't need we do enough hard news on the sports side, and then we do a lot of the lighter-hearted stuff on the non-sports side. So okay.
Alrighty. So, Kenny Pickett will be backing up Jalen Hurts. Quarterback Kenny Pickett is ready to move on to his future with the Philadelphia Eagles as Jalen Hurts' backup, even though his past with the Pittsburgh Steelers is still hanging around. Pickett, the Steelers' first-round draft pick in 2022, was traded to the Eagles on Friday in a pick swap following the signing of Russell Wilson. Shortly after news of a trade broke, NFL's network Tom Pelissero posted a report about why Pickett was traded. How did this go sideways? Mike Tomlin had promised Kenny Pickett he'd get a chance to compete. Pickett learned about the Russell Wilson signing on social media Sunday night. When they spoke the next morning, Tomlin told Pickett that Wilson was in the pole position and would get the first reps. So Pickett asked for a trade. Now he's an Eagle. The report from Pelissero supposedly paints Pickett in a negative light, but Pickett's reaction to Wilson's signing essentially boils down to this. He asked for a transfer after finding out he had been demoted from his job on social media, and he's not sorry about it. Pickett commented, I think the communication is what it is. It was behind closed doors. I'm confident in the way I handled it. I handled it the way I should have handled it. I'm excited to be here. It worked out so well that Philly was the place I ended up landing in. I think everything happens for a reason, and I'm right where I'm supposed to be. Pickett's split from the Steelers may have been a bit acrimonious, but he sounds very ready to move on and wipe the slate clean in Philadelphia. Just think this is a good reset. Just a chance to play on the team in that quarterback room with a couple of great guys, helping those guys out any way I can, and just be ready if my number's called somewhere down the road. Just trying to put my best foot forward and be an asset to the team, Pickett said. So I didn't know that they didn't consult Kenny Pickett before.
There's levels to this.
They did him a little dirty.
This happens a lot. And first off, to be an NFL player, it's a tough role because, to be sitting at home, you're hanging out, man.
Yeah.
It was a rough season.
Imagine scrolling on Twitter to find out that you're being replaced at your job.
Oh, it gets worse than that, Faith. There's been times people find out, you're having a good old time, and it's like, hey, do you know you got cut? Like, you find out in the media that you're no longer employed by a team any longer. He found out that he technically, no, I look at it differently. He found out they brought in another player.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then he finds out that from the coach that, hey, Russ is going to be in the pole position and you're going to be the backup.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sometimes can be that keeping it real goes wrong. He takes the approach of, he goes there and he's upset about this, but sometimes people get into their feelings. And I feel like if you step back and look at this is a situation where Kenny Pickett got into his feelings. He's like, I want to be traded because I'm no longer going to be the starter in Pittsburgh. So Russ is traded there on a 1-year deal, meaning that
he may not be there next year.
Yeah, he may not be there next year.
Yeah.
They drafted you.
Yeah.
You're obvious. They drafted you. They've given you every opportunity to be the starter.
Right.
Russ is going to get the first reps, but you still have a chance here. Or, hey, I want to be traded so I can be a backup in Philadelphia to Jalen Hurts, who is locked in with a long-term contract.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is the future of the Philadelphia Eagles, and there is no plans whatsoever to say, hey, Jalen, we're gonna bench you for Kenny Pickett. Where in Pittsburgh, you actually have a chance to still be able to come back and be the starter.
Yeah.
But because you get caught up in your feelings because they didn't consult with you first, that Russ is coming in.
Yeah.
That may not have been the best decision.
I didn't think about it.
Do you see where I'm
that
coming
way.
from that way?
Yeah, no, I didn't think about it that way.
Trade me so I can go to a team to really be the backup.
Yeah.
With no chance. At least with Russ, it's kind of like okay, yes, I did not play well since I've come into the NFL. They're going to bring Russ in. I get to work with Russ. Russ is on a 1-year deal. We have a tough schedule.
Deal. I'm sorry.
A 1-year deal.
1-year
where deal. You don't have, he doesn't even have any guarantees. He's only getting
Yeah.
1.6 million.
Mm-hmm.
Russ comes in, I kick back, I try to be a model citizen. I study, I improve on the off season.
Yeah.
There's a really good chance that I get a chance to come back in and be the starter after they
Mm-hmm.
get to see what Russ is doing. But he takes the approach of, nope, I
Yeah, it
want to
kind
leave.
of seems like Pickett threw like a temper tantrum and was
You
like,
know,
I wasn't consulted first, and
you
I know
don't
that this guy is only going to be here for a year, but I'm not going to like be replaced in my job, so I'm just going to go somewhere else. And
you haven't played at the level to be consulted.
mm-hmm,
You understand if someone, let's just say like when the Cowboys picked up Trey Lance, the
mm-hmm,
Cowboys went to Dak Prescott and said, "Hey, we got an opportunity to bring in Trey Lance, add some
mm-hmm,
depth to the position." You haven't played at that level.
right,
It's kind of like, listen, we brought in competition.
mm-hmm,
He's in the pole position because he's a possible future Hall of Famer,
mm-hmm,
but you're gonna get a chance.
right,
They didn't say, "Deuces, Pickett, we're out of here."
yeah,
I kind of think Pickett was already in his feelings, and yes, I said in his feelings because a lot of the players on the team. The reason why he's happy to be gone is because other players on the team was like, "Yo, we don't even want him. We want Mason Rudolph to get the bring. We want you to bring back Mason Rudolph."
mm-hmm,
So even in your own locker room, people were already saying Mason Rudolph. Then
mm-hmm,
Russell Wilson came in and he wants out. So for the Pittsburgh Steelers looking at this and saying, "Hey, we shipped up Mason Rudolph's contract is gone. Everyone wanted him. Kenny Pickett just asked to be traded, so we shipped him over to Philadelphia, and we come back with Russell Wilson
mm-hmm,
and Justin Fields."
yeah,
That is called an upgrade. That is an upgrade for the
mm-hmm,
Pittsburgh Steelers. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are a better team today than they were last year.
yeah.
And, I think Kenny Pickett going in and asking to be traded
It wasn't.
may not. I don't think that's a smart move.
No,
I
it's
definitely don't think it's a
definitely.
smart move.
Yeah, I was about to say it doesn't seem like a smart move on his part at
If
all.
you if you are looking around and you're saying like, what is best for my future?
Mm-hmm,
The Philadelphia Eagles are locked in at quarterback.
mm-hmm,
Justin Fields, they've given him the contract. Justin Fields is their future guy.
mm-hmm,
The Steelers did not have a future guy. You
mm-hmm,
have a chance to compete. Just because you played, the fact is, if you're going to be upset about the fact that you weren't consulted that they're bringing in Russ,
right.
look, this shows me a mentality difference
Mm-hmm.
where it's a mentality difference of entitlement. I
Right,
am you know what I mean? You understand where I see the
because like
entitlement?
Justin Fields is like so excited to work with Russell Wilson, and Kenny Pickett is just like, well, I wasn't. Nobody asked me if it was okay, So,
This should have been a wake-up call.
mm,
Listen, okay, they brought in Russ, they're
mm-hmm,
making him the starter. I'm coming in with an attitude. I'm taking my
mm-hmm,
job back.
yeah,
In my eyes, this is an open competition.
mm-hmm,
Where I'm going to show that I'm improving. I'm a Pittsburgh guy.
mm-hmm,
He went to the University of Pittsburgh. He's at Pittsburgh. It's an opportunity to really showcase and come back with an attitude.
mm-hmm,
Instead, he took the approach of ship me out of here.
yeah,
I'm ready to go to another organization to
mm-hmm,
start my career. But Now he's a backup, and I don't see anyone other than Pittsburgh right now looking at him as their future franchise quarterback. And so I think this was a bad decision on his part. I think he should have
Hmm.
taken it and been like, you know what? I want to stay in Pittsburgh and I want to improve.
Right.
That's the attitude he should have taken, in
Wouldn't
my
you want to
opinion.
prove or try to prove that you're just as good or better than Russell Wilson? If I mean you're competing for the quarterback, head quarterback position,
He
starting
took, and
quarterback.
that's what I mean. He took a situation where, yes, was he demoted? Absolutely.
Hmm.
But he took a position where, hey, this guy that's coming in, he has the pole position.
Hmm.
That's what the coaching staff told him, that Russ has the pole position. But he did not say, Russ is our starter for the year.
Right.
You're our backup.
Hmm.
Meaning, pole position, we're leaning toward Russ, but it's going to be a competition.
Hmm.
And he decided, I'd rather go somewhere else where no one is going to tell him, hey, you get to compete for the Philadelphia Eagles job. No, you don't. You get to compete to see if you're going to be the
Yeah.
backup. That's what he's competing for, to be the backup, where he
Yeah.
was competing to be a starter. I don't think it was a good move on his part.
No.
I think if they'd have taken a step back, I think this is not a good move for him.
I
It's a great
agree.
move. I think it's a great move for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Hmm.
And that is, hey, you just added depth at a position so that if for some reason um,
Something happens.
Jalen Hurst goes down, couldn't think of Jalen Hurst for a quick second. If Jalen Hurst goes down, you have a B level quarterback. I'm not going to
Hmm.
say he's an A level quarterback. He's not. He's not a guy that I would want as my franchise quarterback, but I would definitely want him as my backup quarterback.
Hmm.
You have a quality. You brought in a quality backup quarterback, and that's what I kind of think. Look at him as.
Hmm.
I personally thought Mason Rudolph was a better quarterback than him. And I think a lot of the Pittsburgh Steelers, no, think about it. I know this for a fact that a lot of Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback main players campaigned for Mason Rudolph to come back, not Kenny Pickett.
And he's just pretty to look at. Mason Rudolph is.
Oh, hell no.
He's pretty to look at.
Okay, I'm just going to trust you on that one. I'm gonna just. I'm sorry, my heart's not going a little pity pat for either one of them. I'm just gonna let you know. You,
But I mean, yeah, I definitely this was not a smart move on Kenny Pickett at
I don't
all.
believe it. I don't believe it was.
Mm.
You understand you understand my take on this one.
Yeah, no, yeah, I understand.
It doesn't put I don't think it looks good. The
Mm.
guy that doesn't want to, he's upset that he has to compete. It
Right.
shows a sense of entitlement.
Hmm.
And maybe that's the reason why he didn't play so well, because he's so used to things being given to him
Yeah.
instead of taking it.
Hmm.
Instead of saying, you know what, I'm going into this season. No, last year wasn't a great year for me.
Hmm.
I haven't had a great start to my NFL career, but I'm going to improve and I'm going to show them that I am
Right.
a starter.
Hmm.
Now he's not going to get a chance to shine. How is he going to get a chance to shine where unless an injury happens, he literally gets to sit there,
Yeah.
and you're taking, he didn't want to take second team rep in training camp where he was going to compete for the starting position.
Hmm.
Now he's going to take second and third team reps on a team that has absolutely no chance at all of starting for.
Yep.
Good job.
Good job. There was some shade thrown in that.
There was some spice on that good job.
Yeah,
That
there
that was
was.
not a true good
Yeah.
job. I don't know. Sometimes you have to check your pride. You have to check your
Hmm.
ego. And this is one that I don't think he did either.
Yeah.
Pride and
Very
ego
true.
is a lot of goes behind that, which now the Pittsburgh Steelers are like, wow, we upgraded nicely.
I'm like, well,
You know, when you think about it, you know, we didn't waste any major draft capital, and we have a possible future Hall of Famer
hmm
and a possible franchise quarterback all in our quarterback room. We've
yeah,
upgraded.
yeah, absolutely.
And
You
our
win
organization.
some and you lose some.
So I think Kenny Pickett lost.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. All right,
all
guys.
right.
Well, with that, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be discussing Montreal man returns from vacation and gets a letter from Quebec government saying he's deceased. So make sure you guys stick around.